I think just about everything's ready now. I think we should get it underway. I'm CCP Soundwave. We're back with a live devlog. If I sound a little bit rough, that's because I actually have a sore throat, but there's absolutely nothing that can stop me from talking about spaceships, so I'm still here. Hopefully it just makes me sound more rugged and manly. But anyway, we're here with another live devlog. We've had a few so far. This is our first visit from our good GMs, our security people. In tonight's channel, we have from the GM side, we have GM Nova and GM Nithanos. We have CCP Shrieks, who is our security super Judge Dredd, dishing out bans to macroers type of guy. And we have, of course, our community lead, CCP Guard. Guard, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Hope everyone else is too.
That's great. We're very happy to have you guys here. How about you, CCP Shrieks?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm in a wind tunnel this evening.
It's not a very... I mean, you come through relatively well. It's not that bad of a wind tunnel. How about you, Nithanos, joining us from Atlanta?
I'm just enjoying the lovely weather we're getting here in the south right now.
Yeah, I wish I could say the same thing about Iceland. How are you doing tonight, GM Nova, and how is the weather outside your window?
Hello, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you very much. And it's rainy and windy, it's kind of stormy. The summer's not here yet, but it'll be here soon.
Yeah, summer will hopefully come to our little cozy rock here in Reykjavik. I think we're just going to start on some questions. Just before we do, if you've been following these live devlogs, you'll know that sometimes there will be questions we can't answer. If you were here for the game design session, there were questions about dust that we simply couldn't reveal at this point. With the security guys, there's of course going to be details we can't give out because we want them to be able to keep locking up the bad guys. But we can hopefully give you as much as humanly possible. I think this first question goes to CCP Shrieks. It's from Malakanth of Awakened Brotherhood, and he or she asks, when will the security keys be launched and used for EVE? For those of you who don't know, we handed out security keys at FanFest, and Malakanth is wondering when these will be launched.
Yeah, this is a really good question because, to be quite frank with you, I can't give you a solid date for when they'll actually be able to be used. What I can say is that we handed them out for a reason because we're committed to delivering that solution. And I think in the near future I'll be able to give a better timeline for when that is. But right now I'd simply be guessing and setting, dates or expectations that we may or may not be able to deliver on.
How about the actual distribution of these keys? Are people going to be able to buy them? Will they just receive one in the mail? How does this work?
Yeah, people will be able to purchase them. We're researching other options for delivery. We're not going to charge bundles of money on them, though I'm not 100% sure what the pricing model would be like. I don't imagine it's an item we're looking to make a profit on.
Okay, so hopefully coming in the near future, and CCP Shrieks promises us they will not cost $1 million a piece. That's wonderful. Let's jump on to GM Nova. We have a question here from Sten Madsen of the 1st Praetorian Guard. He's wondering, what happens when you get a petition from someone saying his account has been hacked? What would be the indications that the account has actually been hacked and he's not just trying to scam?
Well, we have pretty refined methods to determine if accounts have been hacked. We cannot go into details what the indications or what our methods are exactly, but I can tell you that we know pretty soon if once we look into accounts if they have been hacked or not, and it's fairly obvious. We've trained a lot and we have experienced people looking into it. Now, scams in this area isn't something we're really worried about since we've got such good tools and we have trained people looking to deal with these hacking claims.
Okay, so you can rule out that the method we use doesn't involve a tub of water, a compass, and a monkey.
I really can't rule that out, but anything else is ruled out.
Fair enough, fair enough. As a bit of a follow-up to that, let's say that your account is hacked and you're proven right. So basically someone's come in, he's stolen your account, and you're the owner and you're going to get it back. How does it work in terms of reimbursement? Do we give people back all their items? Like, what kind of service can you expect if you get kind of this kind of trouble?
We will do our best to restore the account and help the owner as much as possible to get everything back on track. Now, stolen ISK and items are restored to the best of our ability. But unfortunately, there are cases where we are not able to return items. For example, if they're sold on the market.
Yeah, all right. I mean, of course, we do have the issue that EVE is one big game, and it's difficult to kind of roll the dominoes back. But I mean, yeah, of course, we trust you guys to do the best for our customers. If we go back to CCP Shrinks quickly, we have a question here from Kari Trace of Nox Imperium. In regards to botting, has CCP considered using a status check system in-game to possibly curb this plague? For example, after the same identifiable pattern of actions are repeated X number of times, like a CAPTCHA pops up or something similar?
Yeah, the specific example of a CAPTCHA, no. Allow me to clarify. Not no, we haven't investigated it. No, we flat out decided we're not going to implement a CAPTCHA system. That doesn't mean that we wouldn't introduce something that would cause behavior to have to be changed, but from the idea of a pop-up box coming up asking you to answer a math question or something while you're mining, that's simply never going to happen.
Okay, fair enough. If we go back to Nithanos, though, and we try to stay on the topic of bots, we have a question here from Bagahi from the Association of Commonwealth Enterprises. How does support deal with Petition for bots? There seems to be some sentiment on the forums. Kill them ourselves, CCP ignores our petitions anyway. Do you respond to these petitions, letting the petitioner knows that justice has been carried out, or it wasn't a botter, or kind of how's the information flow going back to the petitioner?
With reports like this, it can be difficult because, I mean, whether it's a botter or any type of potential violation, we don't generally comment on actions taken against another player. So I mean, just as we wouldn't be able to tell someone about another person's account, we wouldn't be able to tell them, hey, yes, this has a bot, or we did this, or know that they checked out. I mean, every time we get a report, it is looked into for that person. I mean, action may not be taken instantaneously, but in the case of whether they're botting or it's another violation, when they're caught, we do take action against them. And as far as bots go, there is a report a bot feature that we're working to release coming up in June. And I mean, with that, you'll be able to report a potential botter to us, a lot like how the report ISK spammer function works. And that way, it'll both make it streamlined for players to be able to refer potential violations to us a lot easier, as well as having it provide us with information that allow us to take action more efficiently against those who are botting.
And I mean, say you're caught botting, not that anyone listening here, of course, bots, but in the case that you are caught there, Nithanos, Destination Skill Queue's wondering, after you've banned a person for macroing or botting, what are the measures they have at their disposals to try and dispute the claims that they did something wrong? I'm looking for something more specific than a generic reply of just petition it. Like, basically what he's looking for is, how does someone who is innocently banned get his stuff right back on track?
Well, the details for something like that would, would be what we would just need to discuss with them in a petition. I mean, it can depend on the situation for the ban, or for the ban itself. I mean, since there's unfortunately there's many different types of macros out there, so depending on what they were hit for, if in the case of a false positive, I mean, the best thing to do is contact us first through either the website or another account, or emailing support@eveonline.com. That way we can discuss the matter with them. And I mean, if in case it was a false positive, we can speak with them in detail regarding their specific case. Wouldn't really be able to give a general do X or Y type of description because different macros or different bands would have different reasons for them for us clearing up any misunderstanding that may happen.
Yeah, and you know what? There's one way of staying clear of these misunderstandings, and that is not doing drugs, staying in school, and not macroing. With that, guys, just remember one thing. We want your questions as well. If you want to fire off a question, and it might just go into this chat if we have time, go ahead and shoot it to GM Guard. I put his name in the chat, CCP Guard. Shoot him a question, and I'll see if I can grab it later in the broadcast. I've put the name in the channel. If we go back to GM Nova now, Darius III of Interstellar Exodus just has a quick question. Will you be posting stats on bans?
Well, I think you may remember following our launch of the Unholy Rage, which was like our first real huge assault on botters and disc sellers. We did publish stats on how many we banned, how much ISK we confiscated, and so on. But we haven't really been posting any follow-up stats after that. But Unholy Rage has continued, and it's more of a rolling constant Unholy Rage, not this one huge package we had at first. I think maybe Shrieks can answer if we're going to be publishing stats in the future. He's of course a important member of our security force, which is tackling this problem. And Shrieks, do you have an answer to this?
Yeah, in essence, I'm hoping to, and I actually posted in one of the botting threads yesterday. I'm hoping to have a blog out in the next couple of days where essentially we're going to divulge a lot more of that information. None of it's ever really been public before. What we're specifically talking about is not just I want to be clear on the numbers. What we're going to show is not just, hey, this is the number of people we've banned since March, but we're really going to break it down to show how effective we've been and how we think we've been effective and why we use the methodology that we do, like the 3-strike rules and whatever else. So I don't want to get into too much detail because then it doesn't make any sense for me to write the blog, and numbers aren't interesting over the internet, despite what other people might tell you. But I'd look out for, if you want numbers, I'd look for them in the next couple of days, because we've even taken the time to draw some charts, and charts and graphs are amazing.
Okay, that's cool. Nothing better than numbers, charts, and all kinds of amazing stuff. Nova, another question. I believe this may be from Darius III again from Interstellar Exodus. Bots are going up in smoke left and right, but the majority of botters I know getting banned are in high sec. These percentages admittedly are not from a peer-researched and documented study, but the overwhelming majority of 0.0 macros are still chugging away. Will we be looking forward to seeing macro ratters getting popped soon?
Well, thank you for this question. What I'm interested to know is that how come you know a lot of botters in high sec? Anyway,
yeah, I thought that one as well. One of my friends are getting banned.
Anyway, well, you can look forward to seeing macro botters popped, as you put it. But I can tell you that our system, as such, is not biased in any way towards any single group of macroers. It can be that from your perspective, it may look like Empire botters are getting more attentions from us. But as far as I know, that's not the case, like willfully getting more attention. Of course, Empire bots are reported more, since Empire itself is more densely populated, and they're scrutinized more by their fellow citizens of the galaxy. Now, if someone has been lucky so far, he probably won't be so lucky much longer. I hope that answers the question.
Okay, yeah, they certainly won't be lucky very much longer. Let's see if we don't have another question or two for you guys here. Okay, we have one here for CCP Guard, just regarding the devblog in general. It's Damun Beso from Osculum Next. Will there be a general transcript of these questions and answers after the live devblog is finished, or perhaps a podcast?
Yes, there will be. We will edit this into a podcast and publish it for your pleasure. So you can listen to it again and again and again and share it with all your friends and your family.
And you should share it with your family. You'd be surprised just how much your mom will enjoy listening to this podcast. We have several people that have come back and given us the feedback that their mothers were the most happy audience they'd ever showed this to. So don't rule that out, people. Let's get back to GM Nova. We have Adeline Aliel from Aliel Sisters Incorporated. Sounds like her own corporation. How closely does customer support interact with parts of the dev team dedicated to fixes, like Team Best Friends Forever?
Thank you. Very closely. Well, let's take Best Friends Forever team, for example, the team you are in. We have a GM as a member of that team. He's there testing features, giving feedback, making sure that customer support has all the right tools that we need to support that feature, teaching other GMs about new features, and so on and so on. We try to ensure that we get the GMs the tools that we need, and that we make sure that we train our GMs on the new features before they hit Tranquility. So we have actually a team of GMs dedicated to training and being in close contact with the developers. So that team of game masters, they spend a few hours a week, every week, creating defects and feature requests out of submissions from the rest of the GM team. Most of these GMs are active members of different development teams, not just Team Best Friends Forever. And they sit on their meetings and take part in their mailing list. So the GM team is a proactive force in securing proper tools and helping to prioritize bug fixes and impacting design. Now, the experience they get from dealing with petitions, which is their main job, of course, is put to good use in preventing problems that would otherwise lead to petitions, and of course, more trouble for our customers. Of course, we work closely with the security team. We participate in design brainstorming sessions. Sometimes we have an agenda. We try to push it in there somewhere, and we're very much a part of the company. And by the way, GM Grave asked me to tell you that he is the best GM. Well, his words, not mine.
Okay, well, we'll just have to trust his words, I guess. I'm not entirely sure who is the best GM, but there's certainly many of you that do a fantastic job. If we just jump over to Nithanos, who might also be the best GM, Mike Devoid asked, he's from Fireburn Squadron, what are the official sanctions for botting?
The official sanctions for the botting is first time offenders are given the 14-day ban currently. Then if they offend a second time, it's up to a 30-day. And third strike and they're out, and they're just gone for good. Now,
did we just lose Nithanos?
No, sorry, I'm back now. But yeah, it's 14 days for the ban for their first offense, 30 days if they are caught botting a second time, and if they bought a third time, we permanently ban the account.
It does sounds like he's like being cut off, doesn't it?
Well, it is.
It's storming pretty heavily in Atlanta right now, so it might be getting a little choppy, I guess. But
All right. Well, that certainly sounds like a good set of rules right there. When you ban people for botting, do you always ban all their accounts, like their alts as well?
Yes, this is actually something that we've announced through a sticky from CCP Skrigs. Whenever someone's caught botting, all of their accounts are banned. So if someone's running a bot on a single account and they have another account or several other accounts, I mean, the ban is given to the player, not to just that account that they were botting on.
All right, fair enough. How about if you have your ISK and assets confiscated? How do you decide what to remove and what they're allowed to keep?
This can really depend on the situation. Now, whenever we're dealing with someone who has been caught macroing and botting, if we were able to determine that they had received these items or minerals or ISK or any other assets in game through their botting, then we will remove those assets. And I mean, it may put them in some cases into a negative balance, but I mean, it'll be the results of the punishment for their behavior.
Okay, if we stay on the topic of botting here and we just go over to CCP Nova, Clandy of the Science and Trade Institute wants to know, botting is getting a lot of attention from both the players and CCP. Have you considered making it legal to use botting for mining as long as you control the process, writing the checks into the client, providing the bot, and being proactive? Is it a valid possibility?
Good question. Now, creating a CCP bot, as you put it, has been considered actually, although we would call it mining automation. Now, CCP is a very creative company, and we explore a great many things. We explore as much as we can. I mean, of course, many of these, what we explore will never actually make it. But actually, there exists a design idea for this automation, which would tie into specialized skills, ships, whatever, right? But at this time, there is actually no plan to implement this automation. But it's certainly an idea which has been explored.
All
like
right.
My esteemed GM Grimmy put it, if everybody is super, no one is.
That's wise words from a wise man, Jim Grimmy. A follow-up to this, if legalizing botting is right out of the question, why don't you get the players to help? Instigate the bounty hunter profession properly rather than the mess it currently is.
I think that with the report-a-bot feature, we're actually asking you guys to step up and help us with this problem. The bounty hunter profession, although it might sound like a good idea to involve botters, in essence, involving rule breakers as a means of gameplay is perhaps not a really good idea. So let's just leave it at that.
Fair enough. Customer service. I've worked in a customer service role before, and people can be a pain in the ass. On the occasion that I've had to petition, the service was not very swift, and really did look like it had a cut and paste feel to it. Saying that, it was professional and courteous, the way customer service should be. How do you go on improving the service as the player base increases?
Well, to meet the growing player base, we're actually increasing the number of GMs. Several are going through our training program right now, and they're very promising, and they're from a very large group of applicants actually. So we're really lucky to have many people wanting to work for us. Now, of course, we continuously strive to make our service better, We have regular training sessions and quality audits. In regards to what you felt you had, a cut and paste feel, standard replies are actually a part of our quality goal. They have to be relevant though. We have a policy of trying to solve issues as quickly and thoroughly as we can. Now, a great many cases deal with the same issues. For example, if we take ship reimbursements. Now, it may require a detailed investigation, but the replies that are put out will always be the same, or like almost identical towards the customer. So, simply in order to save time, we urge Game Masters to have informative standard replies for those common cases as a first reply. And that's not a bad thing actually, if it really addresses the issue itself. It does not mean that the matter was not looked into. It simply means that instead of manually typing out the reply, the Game Master actually has a reply stored because he has encountered a similar case 100 times before. Now, a second reply should not be a standard reply though. So if you still have that feeling, you have a right to have a good service. That's your right, and we want you to have a good service. So if you don't feel that your petition is being handled with the care and attention that you deserve, you have a right to have it escalated to a senior Game Master. But that's of course after you feel that all avenues have been explored by the GM1, and you're not really happy with the way he might be interpreting the rules and policies. Now, a standard reply is a good service if it solves the customer's problem more quickly than a typed out reply would. And the best standard reply is so relevant that you wouldn't notice it was a standard reply in the first place. But even if you would, you probably won't care if it actually solves the problem for you. The problem is if the reply doesn't really help you and it feels out of place, if someone is cutting corners. If that happens, you should just ask for an escalation of your petition, and then we'll have the seniors deal with your problem. Now, if we reply late to a petition, it's most likely because of increased load, usually. But it might also be that the case itself is unusual in some way and it requires special attention. I hope this answers your question.
It certainly did. It answered all my questions. In fact, all my questions in life. It was very good. If we can just jump back to Nithanos quickly, or Nithanos. This is the Bingos from Jukebox Warriors. He's wondering about hacked accounts. This seemed to be much worse a couple of months ago. Is hacking still going strong?
As far as hacking activity itself, such as back when we had certain stuff being spammed on the forums, we can't really comment directly on how active or inactive hackers and their attempts may be. I mean, we are more prepared now than we have been in the past for not only addressing it whenever it occurs, but preemptively helping to prevent them from hackers from not only gaining access to an account, but if they have gained access, that we're able to shut them out before they can potentially do any damage. In some cases, they may be able to sell assets or remove ISK before we can get them shut down. But in quite a few cases, we will be able to shut down an account before they're able to cause any damage to it. And then, in such cases, the account owner can contact us through a petition. We verify their ownership of the account, and then we can reopen it for them so they can resume playing.
Yeah, okay. I see that CCP Shrieks is also a relevant party to just pull into the discussion here.
Yeah, one of the things I just wanted to say regarding hacked accounts and what we're seeing and what we're doing about it. I know that some of you may or may not have seen the presentation we gave at FanFest. One of the things we started talking about is the fact that we're exposing IP addresses in the account management interface, and what we'd really like to do is start utilizing that information to in creative ways to help you keep your account safe. I can't comment directly on what that is going to look like at the end of the day, but that combined with two-factor authentication and some other things that we're looking into are in the very, very, very near future. We recognize that there are things that we could be delivering to keep your stuff safer, and we're pushing very hard to get that delivered to you.
It certainly sounds like we're going to do our best to keep these people out of your account. Nathanos, just a follow-up here from Debingjo's. I see a lot of people whining on the forums about slow petitions. I've never had this problem. All my petitions were handled in a fair way. As we can rate the petitions, give us some average number per petition category. For example, mission petitions have an average of this, billing petition have an average of this. Anything you can disclose?
Yes. Actually, for petition reply times, we actually had recently put the petition statistics such as those on the Evilpedia, which they can be found just by doing a search for petitions or petition statistics. That gives a lot of details for what we had handled for players through 2010. I mean, I had checked some info earlier today, and some of the recent petition reply times had been averaging, it looked like about a day and a half for a first response, and this was with regular gameplay related petitions. Other petitions such as stuck or billing can have different times they take to reply to. I mean, for example, if a stuck character petition or an exploit petition will be checked pretty much immediately, so that that problem can be addressed due to the severity of the nature of those types of petitions.
Okay, well that doesn't sound half bad. CCP Nova or GM Nova, if we go over to multiple subscriptions here, it's Vigoth Rithik from Frozen Corp Incorporated. Any plans to give group discount to people who pay for multiple accounts?
I actually started to talk without the push to talk button. Anyway, at this point, no, not that I'm aware of. But we have various discount offers for starting second and third of counts, of course. Paying for a year's subscription will get you a better deal on a month-to-month basis. But on the whole, you're actually getting a pretty good deal on your standard subscription plan. The price has not increased at all for at least 5 or even 6 years. I'm not sure even when we increased the subscription last time. And you're getting at least 2 expansions a year for absolutely no additional fee. So I think you're getting, a bang for the buck, I would say.
I think you're right. This is definitely a lot of good entertainment for not a lot of money. CCP Streaks. I think this also comes from Vigoth Rithik. Some follow-up questions. Any chance to get info if people are trying to log into your account? For example, when I log into my bank account, it tells me the number of login attempts that had the wrong password.
I also went over this at the presentation at FanFest, and actually I didn't notice this question when I answered the earlier one. But in the account management panel today, we do have the capability to see the last X number of, or the last month's worth of, I believe, accesses to your account. I want to question, and I could very well just be, not getting something here. I question the value of telling you how many how many bad attempts there were against your account. I think that's something we should be actioning on. I'm not sure that information really does anything for you other than give you the capability to complain to us, or file a customer service request to us, to use the vernacular. The fact of the matter is, though, that what we are doing is exposing information to you related to the people who have successfully accessed your account, and we're going to be utilizing that information in more useful ways.
Okay, and a follow-up to this, any plans on forced password changes?
Yeah, I think that I would take that as well, we do that some today, actually. We do have some proactive monitoring for account hacking, and what we do is essentially force a password change, send an email to your account, and you go through it. It's not something everyone has to deal with. It should be very, very rare, but it is something that we do indeed do today. You just might not have seen it yourself. What we're looking to do is extend that, and that ties again into the system that I was discussing now twice before this, where we're starting to take a look at activity on your account and giving you opportunities to action on it, and maybe instituting some intelligence on our side based on that.
Okay, wonderful. We have one question left, and then we'll go over to some of the wonderful questions you've been sending to CCP Guard. You probably still have a few minutes. The last of the pre-submitted questions will go to GM Nova. It is from Kismetir of Goonwaffe. He asks, what is being done to combat market bots in Jita?
Market bots. You're referring to the constant 0.08 war going on.
Yeah.
Well,
the rest of the question was, anyone who's played EVE knows there's a constant 0.1 ISK war, and it goes on for a while, but yeah, that's basically the gist of it.
Right. Well, we will deal with these macro wars in accordance with our policies. We are aware that players feel that these are the worst kinds of bots, and it prevents or ruins certain kind of gameplay and careers for hundreds, if not thousands, of players. Anyone caught market botting will be taken care of. That's my reply to that.
Taken care of, they certainly will. If we just have a few questions from the players, I'm sorry I don't have the name on this one. Actually, it might be from Owen Moore. Let's just fire this one to CCP Shriek, since he knows all about this macro business. I have a G15 keyboard. I have a few of my G keys that have shortcuts to them. Is that allowed?
Yes. We don't prevent you from mapping keys to essentially mimic behavior that you would normally have to do yourself. What we get angry about is when you're able to action in a way that is beyond human capabilities. But simply mapping, a key to simulate a behavior that you would normally do, such as firing a gun or mapping weapons through your G15 instead of mapping it through the client, we wouldn't have a problem with.
What if these players just have superhuman agility like me and just do it really fast?
That's certainly acceptable as well. Look, I don't want to mince it and really look down on the people who don't have superhuman agility. I too suffer from this particular malady, so I understand what it's like to kind of be shunned and hated in society. But in this particular instance, I don't think that we're going to action any different on the superhumans than we would on somebody with a G15 keyboard.
As someone who is stronger, faster, and more agile than everyone else, I'm really happy to hear that answer. As a follow-up, does CCP believe that NPC corporations represent a safe haven for this kind of behavior, Shrieks?
No. A safe haven. I really No, I don't see NPC corporations as being any more relevant from a botting perspective than any other corporation.
Okay, in terms of keeping your account secure, Jan May asks if you only use Eve from one location, could you set up your account so they can only be accessed from that location, just as an extra layer of security?
Without straight up saying yes, I can tell you that that's one of the things we're looking at when we're talking about how we allow you to utilize the IP information that we're already making available to you through account management.
Well, that certainly sounds like an interesting option. GM Nova, we have one here from Janowad, I believe the name is. I'm sorry for butchering it. If the account gets hacked and the hacker takes your security status down, could CCP help me track the hacker down and reset my security status?
That's a good one. We have to be clear that the hackers we're talking about, which is like 90% of the hackers, are actually real money traders. They're risk sellers. They don't really play the game. So no, we can't track the guy down for you, but we can track the guy down who bought the ISK, which was stolen from you, and you will feel the whip.
And a bit more of a controversial issue here for CCP Shrieks. I read recently that the source code for EVE Online has been leaked with illegal clients and cheats. Can they be developed to affect gameplay?
I'm going to scroll up so I can actually read that question and ensure that I answer it correctly. It is a fact that someone, and this has been going on for a while now, has discovered a way to decompile the source code, or portions of it that we distribute with the EVE Online client. Wherever they post it on the internet, we will be taking legal action against those locations, requesting takedowns, and we will go after the people at the end of the day who are actually posting this information. As far as illegal clients and cheats and other things that may develop or affect your gameplay, I will say that the source being out there does make it easier for them. I think that that's fairly obvious. But I'll also say that it makes it no easier for them today than it made for them, say, 2 years ago. I will say that this is something we're looking into. We're very focused on preventing this from being able to happen, but that's going to take time.
That's fair enough. Nithanos, this is from Lord Tobby. Do you catch botters passively with tools or only from activity or tips from players?
Well, without going into detail of how we're catching players who are, caught botting, I mean, I guess you could say to a degree both. I mean, whether we're catching them through methods on our end or having a player contact us and reporting a specific player. I mean, players reporting potential macros to us over the years has helped us both with verifying them and with tracking down different methods that people are using to bot the game and break the rules. But as far as like the details of the methods that we use, whether it's automated or going off of player submitted information, we wouldn't really be able to divulge that.
Another question to you quickly. This is from Lord Tobby as well. Is there a phone number to CCP's GM?
No. EVE support does not do phone support. However, we can be reached either through in-game, through the website, or by emailing us directly. And, I mean, regardless of how you contact us through one of those three methods, as long as you contact us and file a petition, we will receive it and be able to reply to you. And I mean, whenever you receive a reply, we also tend to make sure that it sends an email of that reply to your email address that your account is registered to. That way, if you file the petition in game and maybe you haven't logged in, or perhaps you logged in but haven't noticed the petition reply, you'll see it in your email inbox. That way, you're able to get back to us, and we can help you with whatever issue you're contacting us for.
Thank you very much. I think our final question is going to go to CCP Srigs. It is from Valator Ewell. At what point will you consider that you're in control of the bot pandemic? Or in other words, at what point will we see CCP Srigs stand on an aircraft carrier and declare mission accomplished?
Well, judging from past experience, I probably should have done that a couple months ago, eh? But the general concept of actually being, having 100% eradicated bots, I think is kind of a weird goal to have, because I mean, first off, you have to know every bot that's there, and then if you had those numbers, you'd be actioning on them anyway. So I think from a more realistic standpoint, I think that we can say that we're already seeing, and I'm really looking forward to showing you some results as far as curbing the behavior or capabilities of what bots are able to do. I think that what we've done over the course of the past 3 months has been very successful, and I think that we've stated flat out that this isn't something with a set finish line. We're not ever going to get to a point where we say, all right, the problem's gone, let's move on to the next one. The general idea is to establish internal business processes and things that help us to solve this problem holistically, so that, you know, it's an ongoing and repeating and cycled thing that's part of the business's DNA. We're not going to see we're not going to have an aircraft carrier moment. And if we did, it would probably end up just like Mr. President's ill-fated aircraft carrier moment. We would just look silly. It's something that we're always going to have to stay on top of.
Well, I think that just about ends it. Thank you very much for coming on the show, CCP Shriek, CCP Guard, GM Nithanos, GM Nova, and of course myself. You can't really leave without thanking yourself. Also, Vivox have provided fantastic service, as they always do with a voice. Thank you very much for listening in, everyone. Hopefully we can give you another live devlog soon with another cool topic. It was nice to hear some of the security stuff that goes on behind the scenes with both CCP Shrieks and the GMs keeping all of our accounts safe at night while not declaring final victory just yet. Thank you very much for checking in. This should be available as a podcast later. I'm sure that CCP Guard will announce that when the time comes. Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Take care, guys.
It's been great. Thank you for coming.